I want to take a couple of minutes and talk about something that comes up frequently in our conversations with prospective and existing relationships. A lot of times it has to do about how our process might differ from another financial professional, but it usually comes up in discussing the different approaches in managing one's investment portfolios. There are a lot of theories or different philosophies that are out there, but I personally believe it often comes down to the difference between an advisor versus a sales philosophy. So if you were comparing two different investment professionals and one of them said to you, either I can get you a higher performance or I can manage your investments for a lower fee, or maybe we have a minimum level of net worth or asset level requirement, does that feel more like advice or sales? We spend far too much of our time fixing lowest fee problems. But I get it, all things being equal, lowest fee wins. What makes the conversation interesting is the all things being equal, right? A lot of investors believe that investment success is being able to outguess or outperform the market. So sometimes they're surprised to learn that in my 30+ years in the industry that investor performance has been as important as investment performance. As multiple industry and academic studies have shown, investment success is largely influenced by two factors. Number one, investor behavior and emotion, and number two, adhering to a disciplined process over time. Now we can spend a lot of time going over fundamental versus technical analysis or active portfolio management versus passive, and the differences between allocation and diversification when we're explaining portfolio construction. Now we believe you should have a process, and the process should be repeatable. It should be research-driven and identifies high-quality, well-managed companies. It should make sure that it leverages secular trends, and most importantly, it should construct personalized allocations that are aligned with your individual needs, goals, and risk parameters. Sounds like a marketing brochure investment, right? What does all that mean? It sounds complicated, but it's not. Ultimately, the conversation comes down to performance-based or goals-based. Our process is goals-based, which is why we are so committed to the financial planning process. Performance-based will try and convince you that goals-based is nothing more than an excuse for setting lower performance expectations or lower performance returns. I would suggest that instead of letting your performance results dictate your goals, which may or may not be your dreams, it might make sense to consider your goals first. Goals-based is about having a targeted performance that moves you towards your goals, your hopes, and your dreams. Here's the simple answer. Performance-based is more of a ready, fire, aim approach. Goals-based is ready, aim, fire. Now this is probably a good time for some disclaimers, like when you invest, there's all sorts of various kinds of risk, one of which could be the loss of principal, and no strategy will protect from loss or guarantee a gain. But we believe that aligning your strategies using the goals-based approach helps you define what's important to you and what's an acceptable or not acceptable level of risk. Let me give you a baseball analogy, and that would be to define it this way. Performance-based is more of a Babe Ruth or Hank Aaron strategy. I'm either going to hit it out of the park or I'm going to go back to the bench if I miss 3 times. Goals-based would probably be more of a Ricky Henderson, Ty Cobb, or Barry Bonds approach, which is more about making sure and striving to consistently get on base. And that should hopefully improve your probability of being able to score a run, which may be why in baseball your scoring leaders are Henderson, Cobb, and Bonds, and Aaron and Ruth are right behind. Now our investment philosophy is striving to consistently get on base. Singles and doubles, not home runs. Although don't get me wrong, we'll take the home runs when they happen. But maybe your game is golf, and your goal is to get the ball in the hole with the fewest possible strokes, right? But there are all kinds of obstacles out there along the way, and most golfers will concede that overswinging is not the solution to a good game, to improving a good game of golf. Our philosophy is strive for consistency. It's about establishing your family index number, which through planning and analysis can help us arrive at your family number, which is the hypothetical rate of return that your family should strive for based on all the variables of your plan, like expected inflation over time, your targeted time frame, How much are you able to commit, or are you willing to save or invest? We share the belief that understanding your risk tolerance is important, but it's part of the success that's tied to goals-based investing, and the more important part is knowing your risk capacity. If you've not had that conversation with your investment professional, you should. Most advisors will talk to you about your risk tolerance, which is how much fluctuation or downside movement in your portfolio that you can stomach. Risk capacity is the level of risk that you can afford, and it's a conversation that goals-based believes your future wants to know about. Although you may be lucky enough for ready, fire, aim, the performance-based approach, our investment philosophy is ready, aim, fire.